Hi, Amy.
Heavy.
We just watched Before the 90 Days, Season 8, Episode 9. Any initial thoughts?
I feel like there were a lot of borderline jaw dropping moments. I found it
Mhm.
quite entertaining and also extremely aggravating at the same time. I can't I can't tell you anything off the top of my head about any of the pros. There were an absolute ton of cons, somewhat entertaining cons. People just really fascinate me, their behaviors. We'll get into that, but anyway,
I really enjoyed the revealing of secrets this week.
mm,
Because
you always have a better description of things than I do.
I do not. Uh, there were a few secrets, big secrets, that came out in this episode, which was quite exciting and entertaining, as you said. So before we dive in, let's do our 1 and 2. 1, rate, review, and follow us wherever you listen to the podcast. 2, watch us on YouTube at 90 Day Fiancé. And now we may begin with Emma and Ziad. Feels like ages since we've seen these guys. Nothing is happening.
Yes, nothing. I had an issue with this couple because they resolved their argument where he says he's 0% uh
Inclined to marry her?
thank you, thank you. Um and now she's just so stuck on these percentages.
Mm,
It reminds me so much of Nicole and was Azan, the one who said that he was like 55% attracted to her or something
mm-hmm,
to that effect. Like just
mm-hmm.
with the percentages that actually don't mean anything.
Yeah.
It feels like this couple is okay, so they resolved it too quickly. Didn't really talk anything through, just agree to move on. And now everything is just happy. Everything is fine, even though he told you in front of his friends how little he's committed to you at this point. I wonder if they
Yes.
had a conversation away from the cameras and it was like, I need this clout. So we need to at least pretend to resolve it. Like it seems so disingenuine and forced.
Okay. Okay. I'm also intrigued by the fact that Emma gets stuck on these percentages. She can't seem to get over the numbers. And it's clear she feels like she's wasting her time. She wants to have these stable, concrete promises made to her. Yes, we will get engaged when my percentage reaches 48%. You know, she wants this kind of certainty in her future, and he's completely incapable of providing that to her. Not sure if he's just willfully not providing it to her because she's asking for it, or if he really doesn't think about it the same way she does. So it's not important to him either way. The difference between how Ziad is behaving now as compared to when they were online, I found that discussion very interesting, that she actually finds it such a stark contrast between then online and now in person that she gets to the point of asking him, "Am I the girl you want to be with?" Which I think shows how much she is, in effect, at the end of her rope. Why am I here? Tell me, give me something. So it is a great question. The answer is yeah. He's a man of very few words.
Little commitment in person.
Very little, very little. I I don't understand where their optimism comes from when they say to one another, "Okay, we'll just agree to resolve things." Resolve what? Resolve how? Nothing has changed except you've said these words that everything will work out somehow. Where does that come from? Ho
It feels
You
like a lot of
guys,
these couples are in fa la la land.
yeah, they haven't had enough time together to know if and how they can resolve issues together as a couple. And this very flippant, just tossing the issue aside, saying, "Yeah, that's okay. We'll deal with it later," or "It's not big enough for us to have to look into deeply now." Okay, whatever. They move on. He makes her dinner. Nice gesture, but of course, he's got some fairly substantial help in the form of the cook slash maid slash housekeeper who is at the house with them. And then he says he's now at 7%. Well, that is astonishing.
7% out of 100%.
Mhm.
what's the scale that we're looking at here? Like, how do we quantify where you're at other than just you random numbers? But she takes that 7% as a positive. Oh, I'm moving in the right direction. Okay.
This is the thing, like, where does this optimism spring from? You haven't had enough time with this guy to know, yeah, we can resolve our differences. We actually can communicate and get through tough stuff. Instead, she goes, oh, 0 to 7%. Yay, winning. This is fantastic. And I think you and I knew this was going to happen. They're staying in the same house. There's no cameras around. What's he going to do? He's going to forget that he's Muslim and that he's made all these promises to remain pure until he gets married. And they go ahead and have sex. Yes. Guess that religion thing is, not so much of a guideline as whatever. If I feel like it, I'll do it anyway.
I'm a person who enjoys rules and clear definitions, clear requirements. This is here. I'm very confused. I also don't really care too much because it's this couple. Though I also wanted to bring up her overusage of the word babe. Oh, that's so cute, babe. Oh, thanks, babe. Like, if I were to play a drinking game while watching this episode and I had to take a shot every time she said babe, I would be very unwell. It was
Noted.
so irritating. And like, why do you have to keep repeating it?
She thinks it's cute.
Well, I would like to scream from halfway to the summit that it's not cute. It is annoying. It's like you're really trying to force this intimacy between the two of you by using a nickname, a cute
Yeah. Yeah.
something something. And so my issue is the next morning she said, they had the sex twice. And then she goes on to describe the size
Oh,
of his
yes.
uh, genitals, to be medically correct.
We're very clinical today.
Okay,
Thought you were going to come up with something, his hookah or his camel
nope.
lead. Nope, nope, nope.
What? Camel lead?
I don't know. Do they have sticks that they beat their camels with? They probably do, unfortunately.
To bring your attention to the
Yes.
mug.
Oh, nice.
uh,
Yeah,
I
that
couldn't.
was quite gross.
Why? And again, what
Mhm.
is with this season, or I don't know if it's just this one or the other one as well. Like, everything is so sexually forward and overly descriptive.
Mhm.
Like, she just explained his quote unquote manhood to like an international audience.
Mhm.
What an overshare.
Yes.
Okay, now I'm done. If you want to just cut it off right. Oh,
No, I think you're spot on. And especially in light of the fact that he's Muslim, that he came with this set of rules, ostensibly that he was not going to have sex with her because he's preserving his purity until marriage. And then she is the kind of person who not only tells the camera crew, yes, we slept together, but then goes on to describe in detail what she was using,
her
working with the
her
night before.
sample.
I I mean, come on. Do you really think that he's going to be happy about this? No. Okay, let's read on.
Please.
Lisa and Daniel. We saw this coming. You called it. You said something about open wounds or sores to do with the wig. Yes, we're there.
Just gonna leave it on
Wow.
that long. It's gonna be a problem. Like, if you don't wash your hair for a certain period of time, it gets itchy. But now you also have the addition of her wig cap and the wig and the fact that there's, like, I don't know how much breathing room there is with wearing a wig. So I can't attest to that. Though I think reasonably, if you're going to keep something on your head for 24 hours a day for 7 days, that bacteria it's going to fester.
Yeah,
So
delightful thought.
this doesn't surprise me, though. I also wonder why she didn't just pop the wig off to have a shower
Hmm.
and then put it back on. Because she
Yeah, I
also
guess
said she had to wash the wig. So why can't you have a shower, wash the wig? put it back on.
Right. I think it has to do with the glue because that glue was basically melted into her skin
Ugh.
and she didn't want to have to remove the glue and then reapply the glue. I think. I have no real certainty here. This is not familiar territory for me. However, it is disgusting. I can't believe she wore it nonstop. I can't even imagine the idea of not washing my own hair for a week, let alone keeping it under a very, very tight cap for a week and not washing it. The itch, the discomfort, the smell, all of that must have been yuck.
You bring up a good point with that smell because she's in a very warm climate. She's sweating
Mhm.
constantly, as I would be, as I currently am right now. Ah, and you're not taking the steps to have basic self-care, all for the purposes of whatever this relationship is.
Not just the relationship. No, it's not just for Daniel or for her appearance in front of Daniel. It's to be deceitful about her appearance in front of Daniel. It's like we talked about last week or the week before. This is the perfect couple, the scammer, Daniel, and the liar, Lisa. She lies about everything. And some of it is not like a deliberate lie, hiding stuff like she is hiding from her daughter, Faith, like she was hiding and still is from Daniel, and of course the lying to uncle. But this kind of lie where you're hiding who you truly are from somebody, as she is with the wig, because you're afraid of what might happen, what their reaction might be. And I find it really interesting that she's aware of her honesty when it comes to her daughter, her dishonesty, I should say, that is more correct. She's aware of her dishonesty towards Daniel in hiding her past, but she's not aware of her own dishonesty to herself.
A really good point.
So she takes the wig off, hallelujah, washes everything, fantastic, probably smelling a whole lot better. And then she goes to see Daniel. Mhm. His reaction is quite something.
I had to rewind it so I could watch it again because he seems so, correct me if I'm wrong with the word, but almost like incredulous. Like, what? What? What?
Uh-huh.
What is this?
That was a literal jaw-dropping moment. Yeah, I thought it
And
was quite telling.
I thought it was really interesting that she was like, well, I needed to take my wig off. And at no point did he say, I didn't know that you wore a wig. Though she
Mhm.
said previously he didn't know that she wore wigs and she was worried about how he was going to react. But based on their conversation, it seemed as though he already knew. So we've been left out of something at this point. Was he okay with it to begin with? Was it, oh my God, I will love you either way, whatever. And then she comes out and he's like, that's embarrassing.
There that's true. There were some inconsistencies in this episode having to do specifically with Lisa that I also caught on to. That was one of them about the wig, whether he had known about it already or not. Not sure anymore. The other one was in regards to Faith, Lisa's daughter. She said in this episode, point blank, that Faith had forbidden her from getting engaged to Daniel. So it wasn't just that she's not allowed to go to Nigeria and marry him, she was not allowed to get engaged to him. And so we see Lisa telling Faith that she is in fact engaged, although the way that she described it, it was almost like, oh, well, I reluctantly had to agree to it because he went to all this trouble to get the dancers and the band and all that stuff. And so, I kind of had to. Mhm. Anyway, yes, let's get back to the wig and the shock in Daniel, which is very revealing of how he really feels about her. What she said was, I think, very accurate that he is only attracted to the longer hair. And the fact that he's not attracted to her when she takes her wig off is devastating.
And I think the reason why he prefers her in long hair is because it somewhat hides her age. Because he did say, oh, you look so much older.
Yeah. And he feels embarrassed. Well, what about her? I would be so embarrassed to have my man say to me, "Well, if we go out in public, you have to wear the wig."
Yeah. So now you're telling me that you don't love me for who I am because this is who I am. However, I also think that her lying to him about it and or not letting him see the real her before this. I mean, we've had some time with them as viewers. So they've had some time together and this has just been a massive band-aid for her to wear the wig so he doesn't acknowledge her age or whatever. She's just doing
Yeah.
all of this stuff to appease him. I'm really proud of her for taking off that wig and for taking care of herself
Mhm.
and for saying no. Though Daniel saying, well, you're going to need to wear it when you meet my friends and my family and whatever. But he doesn't say anything about what happens with them behind closed doors. I feel like this is going to be the same situation where she comes out of the bathroom laughing hysterically with that weird
Mm.
maniacal laughter in lingerie, but without a wig. And he's no, we're just gonna go to sleep. I love you, but we're just gonna go to sleep now.
I have to acknowledge the fact that she does mention she's seeing some red flags in his
Mm,
behavior due to his reaction over the wig, and I was very relieved that at least she's picking up on that. I don't think it's going to be enough
yeah.
to dissuade her from continuing on with the relationship, though, because she desperately, desperately wants this man. And we really see that when they go to meet his friends with the wig on, of course, because she gets into that very emotionally heightened state again, like we saw her with the uncle, where she can't really control what she's feeling and it's spilling out through her words and her energy, her demeanor. She is a woman who is on the edge because everything that she's invested in this relationship, everything that she's focused in on Daniel has grown so massive in her life, in her emotional and psychological well-being that if it's destabilized at all, she will crumble. And so she wants the friends to reaffirm for her that Daniel is a good person, which of course they're going to do. They're his friends. What do you think? You're going to get like some kind of
See.
objective jury of some kind and they're going to give you a verdict, yes or no? Of course not. It's his
No,
buddies.
I found that whole interaction with his friends to be very telling as well. It seems like she's a good woman, and then his one friend saying that she would make a good home.
Mm,
Why
thank
don't we
you.
also just say that she looks very homely?
Yeah, I don't know if that's what he was getting at exactly, but it was insulting in my
How
view.
yeah, it seemed the way that they were talking about her was so demeaning and he introduces her as my girlfriend from America,
Mhm.
specifically America. So I feel like all of them are just like, we have to support this.
Yes.
This is his way out. This is his way into the American dream. He is a fantastic man. Yes, he was a ladies' man, but he is so committed to you.
I believed every word. Come on.
And then
It
she
was
comes
so
out,
convincing.
that a couple months ago,
Oh.
remember they haven't even been together for very long. We're
Mhm.
at what, like 6 months at this point? A couple
Yeah.
months ago, a woman messaged her giving her receipts, screenshots of him pulling the same stuff that he's been pulling with her.
Mhm. With
He
other
claims
women. Women, plural.
women, yeah, so women, and he claims that he's blocked them all. That's not his intention. He was just asking them how they were, how their days been.
Mhm.
Did she ask if any of them had sent money?
Good question.
And if it was their own, or if they had to ask friends for it?
Okay, now that was a very good point. When she said, in response to the friend saying, "You have transformed this man. Look at him in nice clothes. He has nice things." And she's
Mm,
like, "Yes, I work 15 hours a day, 7 days a week, so I can send him money." And I'm like, okay, wait a second. I think some of that money is your girlfriend's money that you sent because you have borrowed money from people in order to send to Daniel and to make this trip happen. And then the second time they mentioned this, she says, "I work 18 hours a day, 7 days a week, so I can send Daniel money. So I need to know for real, is he good or not?" I'm like, girl, I didn't believe you the first time with the 15. I definitely don't believe you with the 18-hour days. You don't have any money. You probably subsist off of some kind of assistance program, and your friends happen to be really nice people who give you money. So where's this job that keeps her busy 18 hours a day, 7 days a week?
well, I feel like she does have a job,
Sure, some
though
kind of work,
it
but
doesn't it doesn't give her the fortitude to be able to support a man in another country, let alone her own basic life requirements and her daughter and hmm, hmm. And you can't
Yeah.
tell me that you're working that long because you spend time with him online as well. So
It's all a lie. Everything that comes out of her mouth is a lie. But Daniel is also lying because when confronted with the information about this other woman who contacted Lisa with the screenshots, he just laughs and denies it in that way that people who are always lying do. Their eyes slip off to the side. He did the old whoop, bloop. Lisa, you have your proof. You have the receipts. You have the testimony from another person. And you have Daniel, the guy who cannot tell a lie, clearly lying to you straight to your face.
and I feel like she does know it.
Mhm.
She's just so desperate to have this relationship that she's going to overlook it. And I think that's just it's so sad to watch.
It is. It is sad. But I also feel like they are deserving of each other. They are on the same playing field. He's scamming her. She's lying to him. That to me is an equal relationship, as awful as it sounds.
I don't know what to say about that. I think you're right. Though I also don't think that the situation is morally and ethically right. And
Absolutely.
and everything.
Yeah.
Morally, ethical, financially, spiritual, mentally. None of this is right. Though if they want to play nicey nicey and do their thing and I don't know, have this pretend relationship and both lying to each other and themselves.
Mhm. Shall we read on?
Please.
Let's
Oh
go
wait.
to Jovon and Annalyn. Annalyn and Jovon are still fighting. It's the last day of their honeymoon. The night is over. The fight continues. They go to the next morning. The fight is still ongoing. They're getting silent treatment from one another. Oh, Lord, it's bad. Jovon still painting himself as the victim, perpetual victim. Nothing I do is good enough. Even if I apologize, it's not good enough. So I'm not even going to bother to apologize, which is a great way to excuse yourself from having to make amends with somebody. Even if I do it, she's not going to accept it. So why should I even do it? Great work. Yes, that'll get you far. Hmm.
Perfect. So proud
And
of you.
did you notice him walking way ahead of her as they left dinner? So
Again.
caring, so thoughtful. I'm going to walk 10 steps ahead of you so that you feel like you're on your own. Great job. Just like
Finger should be
Manon
sing.
with her husband, Anthony, on the other show. Anyway, this is like going nowhere fast. One blames the other blames the other. Blame, blame, blame. I'm bored.
I don't like this guy's face. I don't like anything that comes out of his mouth. Again, with the whole victim thing. Annalyn can't do anything right. Jovan is perfect. He does everything for her. What more can he do? He is the doting husband that gives her everything that she wants and she needs, and yet doesn't listen to her in any capacity. Like, he's not, I really don't like the fact that we know the kind of person that he is. Like, he's so disgusting with his whole red pill BS. Like, she needs to cater to me. She needs to be thankful to me. Like, I'm surprised he didn't say like she needs to kiss my feet because I keep a roof over her head. It's just I really want to
Mm.
know what he was like before he started watching this kind of stuff. Or like taking in, absorbing and becoming this narrative.
I think there's a parallel between this couple and between Emma and Ziad, where they keep fighting over and over again. They don't really get anywhere when they fight. They don't figure things out. And yet with Jovon and Annalyn, they do identify issues. It's definitely true that he's annoyed by what he considers her criticism of him. So he's annoyed by that. And she doesn't like his negative attitude and the way that he keeps harping on about how much money he gives her and how she should be grateful for that. So they can identify the issues, but they're also not doing anything about it. They're just proceeding as if things are good, things are fine. We'll call it a truce. What are you going to do about it in the future, guys? Have you
We've
figured out
seen
how to fix this?
We've seen a lot of couples like this, and as you're saying this, the first one that pops out is I think it's Nicole and Mahmoud with their ferocious fights, and then everything's fine.
Mhm.
Ferocious fight, and then everything's fine. How how big is your house that you were able to continue to compile this amount of, I don't know, negativity and conflict and just sweep it under the rug?
I don't know.
How do you do? And then it really irritated me when he said in the morning that he was giving her space because, if he tries to talk to her, she's just going to explode and whatever. He's giving her space. And yet the night before, he was the one who's like, I'm not dealing with this. I'm going to have a shower.
Hmm.
So, how
Yeah.
can you say that you're the one who's willing to have this communication when you were the first person to walk away? And again, as you said, with him walking in front of her, he just seems to be so encapsulated in this whole like, you need to praise me for all the things that I do for you and forget about any of the things that actually bother you because I'm doing this
Yeah.
for you. And also I am absolutely perfect. And
That's the
then
kicker.
and then when they were talking by the pool, he says, maybe I'm not translating this right. He's not translating anything. He's speaking English. She understands it perfectly well. Now he's being condescending.
Hmm.
You're not understanding what I'm saying. And it's not one of those like, maybe I'm not communicating it properly. Maybe I'm not translating it because you speak a second language as a first language, and that's also your problem.
Hmm.
The
Yeah.
whole
He's really good at compounding the problems on top, on top, on top, on top. Yeah.
yes. And he
And
keeps bringing in the other problems. So it just
mhm.
becomes like a massive layered inedible cake.
Hmm. What a loss. Shall we read on?
This is where it gets good and
Rick and
awful.
Trisha.
Good and awful.
We have been waiting for this moment for quite some time. They are still island hopping. He is ignoring the massive in his relationship with her and trying to distract Trisha and also win her over with these lavish romantic gestures. For example, this incredibly beautiful house on the island overlooking the water, magical place,
Breathtaking.
which I have to say was kind of spoiled, for me at least, the moment he took out those cheap ass jungle costumes and said they had to go role play in the waterfall. Yeah,
You know what
can't you
ruined it for
just.
me? It was even
Mm,
before that,
okay.
is when he said that he was gonna take her on a romantic getaway for, like, the last island hop. And my response was, "Well, wouldn't it be romantic if you were honest and had integrity?"
Hmm.
And now you're taking her to a secluded place. And now this is when you plan on telling her your big ass secret?
Hmm. Yeah,
The
it's so calculated.
the going back to the whole outfits, I mean, he's given us the ick for a very long time. And then add on that comment about, this is sheer romance, knowing full well that he's like bold-faced lying to her by omission while blaming her for all the things that she's done. And then he comes out with those outfits. If you know how secluded this place is, why would this be a thing for you? And then he actually does tell us and say, I've really gotten into role playing. Okay, so now you're making her play into your kink, and she does it to appease you, which is questionable when it comes to the consent. And
Mm.
then he goes and tries to take his clothes off at the water. Just a lot of questionable consent in this one, and that made me feel very uncomfortable.
Uh-huh. It was incredibly uncomfortable. It was very pathetic is the word that I wrote down
Oh,
for it. Especially
oh,
when
I
he
like
puts
that.
on the costume and it looks like he's painted on his own abs. I mean, anyway, he is who he is. I wondered, is his guilt finally catching up with him at this resort? Yes, it is. But he has kept it deliberately under wraps for so long, for just enough time, so that she can get so entwined in her feelings for him. She can get so mixed up in her emotions and so much deeper in love with him that maybe, just maybe, when he tells her, she won't be able to leave. And that to me is just the height of manipulation and grossness that you would not be honest with her, tell her off the bat, look, this is who I am. This is what I did. It was wrong, but I hope we can continue to get to know one another because here I am. But no, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait until you're already falling in love with me, and then I'm going to reveal my awful, disgusting truth.
Anyway, so he has planned this getaway for Trisha because he wants to continue with the whole, romance thing and whatever. Fall in love with me, fall in love with me, fall in love with me. With all of the sex that they've been having, because obviously we know. And the little secret that we have where he went to Colombia and he had all the sex with his ex girlfriend. How much do you want to bet that he was telling them both the exact same things at the
Ew.
exact same time?
Ew.
Or maybe not at the exact same time because, there was overlap. But I couldn't believe that this guy said that he wanted to be able to tell her the truth about him going to see his ex in Colombia in a way that would make it more forgivable.
Oh, no, no,
No,
be quiet. Be quiet, sir. Step back. Step all the way back. No. Yeah.
off the cliff. I didn't say that.
Mm. She's so visibly shaken by him revealing this terrible thing to her. I love the fact that one of her first reactions was to tell him to shut up, just like to be quiet, to allow
Yeah.
her to absorb that information so that she can fully understand what's happening, because this is obviously a huge, huge moment for her. And of course, he does not do that. He does not respect her space or her boundaries. And he offers up instead this meaningless, utterly meaningless, we can work through this. What? Excuse me, sir? We can work through this. No, 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 no. This is not a we moment. This is a you moment. You did this. You would have to fix this if it was possible to repair, which kind of don't think it is, really crosses that line.
You messed up. You knew her history. I mean, even if she didn't have a history of being cheated on, you know what you did was wrong. You chose to do it anyway. Her history, and then you hiding it purposely. You've been hiding it long enough so that you can get laid. You can try to convince her that you're a phenomenal man and then take her to a secluded island to tell her this. Are you telling her this on a secluded island so that she can't just leave? Probably. He wanted to have that time to be able to manipulate her to be able to stay.
It sickens me.
It's disgusting.
I'm grateful for one thing, which is that he's telling her, it seems like just a little while, like within an hour or so of them having to leave the island. So there is an escape for her coming up, but they still have to leave together in the boat. She's pissed. She's so pissed.
Were they only there for one night?
I think so.
Okay.
So they do get to leave this lovely, beautiful island somewhat rapidly after he tells her. But again, this is so much worse than anyone could have possibly imagined, because the fact is that he went to Colombia after Trisha started speaking to him again, after those 5 days of silence had elapsed, that he went there with the intention to hurt Trisha back, if you will, for how he felt while she was ignoring him for 5 days.
Because she was clearly cheating on him during that time, which we find out that she was not.
Yeah, right. Right. Because of whatever narrative he'd invented in his mind, which was not in fact true. And now he's trying to blame her for him having gone to Colombia because she made radio silence with him for 5 days.
But then we find out that it wasn't radio silence because she was responding and she said that she would call him later. So she was just pushing him off. She didn't ghost him. She still existed in his life. She still communicated, although not in the best or thorough way. She could have done things differently. However, she didn't ghost you. So the fact that he came out of the gate saying, she didn't talk to me for 5 days is BS, because she did. I think it would have been completely different had it been, as you said, 5 consecutive days of absolutely nothing. But then we find out that they had been talking and he had the idea that she was cheating. So he booked the tickets within that 5-day period And they started talking again, but he still went because he already booked the tickets.
Mhm. And he
Who are
was
you?
talking with Trisha while he was in Colombia having
Right.
sex with his ex.
I felt so bad for her. Her reaction was so palpable.
Yeah.
I loved the way that she was just like, "Don't touch me. Do not touch me."
Mhm.
I love that.
Mhm. She handled it beautifully. Given the circumstances, being on this secluded island where you have no way to get out other than a boat with this man, she's doing the best that she can, and I think she's fantastic in the
I think
way that
she
she's dealing with it.
I think she created her own safe space, and I
Mhm.
wouldn't have been surprised had she mentioned to any of the people on the boat, "If he touches me, I'm going to lose it. He does not
Yeah.
get to touch me." Like I
Yeah.
can see her doing that because she was so firm and her, "Don't
Well,
touch me.
she
You take your own bags. I'll
she
take
does
mine."
have the camera crew to shield her and to keep her safe, so at least there's that.
Yeah, I wonder if there was like some internal communication because
Mhm.
she also did say, I think just before he landed, that her tribe is extremely aggressive. And we
Yeah.
talked about what would happen if and when this actually came out. So I think that she's really maintaining her composure so well. Cause I mean, I don't even want to think about what I would have done in that situation, but I don't think I would have been as calm
Mhm.
as she was. She handled herself so very well. And for only being 25 years old, this woman is incredible. I am
Yep.
so impressed with her.
Yep.
And I also feel so bad because, I don't know if it was in one of the interviews or even if he said it to her, but he said that it's different than the ex that had cheated.
Yeah. Sure.
Or maybe she said, does he think that this is different than my ex who had cheated? It's still cheating.
Yeah. I don't wanna talk about him anymore.
I would love to
Sh
talk about her till the end of days. I think she's absolutely beautiful. I think she's so intelligent. She's funny. She's so outgoing. If we're gonna see anyone on The Single Life, I I would love to see her.
Let's read on to the last couple for this week, Laura and Birkan. Yeah. Okay, so Laura starts off telling us that she's got mixed feelings, mixed, which confused me. Why are they mixed? Shouldn't it be clear to you by now that this guy is an utter and complete waste of space?
Disaster.
He's taking her on a romantic getaway. Again, with the romantic getaways, not a good track record on this show for romantic getaways, but okay. Whose
And the
money, by the
timing.
way, is paying for this romantic getaway? It's probably Laura's. Yeah, yeah. Says that he is the spice in her life, to
God.
which I laughed heartily. A hairy, skinny white guy with a bad haircut thinks he qualifies as spice.
A man who was so completely emaciated that my forearm is larger than his bicep. The
No,
only
sir,
spice that he
you
is
do not
adding.
qualify as spice. You do not even qualify as vanilla.
Vanilla is
You
so.
are many steps below vanilla.
You know what he is? You might have to delete this, but you know what he is? Is he is that random disgusting hair that you get in your food when you're at a questionable restaurant.
Oh, disgusting.
That is the spice that he is. It adds no flavor. It adds the wrong. I'm going to stop. Anyway, so they want to go on a romantic. Sorry, I could have gone on about that, but I had to stop myself because I think I was going to gag. Okay. They're going to go on a romantic trip when there's been absolutely no romance between them. Yes, they have had sex, but there's been like no intimacy. There's been like no touching, no hand holding, no just desire to be together. It's just two people who want something that the other person can give them.
Transaction. It's a
They
transaction.
again with your words. Like but
Eeh.
even when they get there and they're walking around, they're not holding hands. They're not
Mhm.
touching each other. She doesn't even grab his arm.
Yes, you are correct. There is no denying there is no chemistry between this couple and very little intimacy other than the performance of the sexual act that is obviously going on, thankfully behind closed doors.
Right.
Yay. She says she wants to know how Birkan amassed his debt. So he tells the story of how that happens. Then he tells her that if he has any money, he gambles it. What? Every day, he says. It can be every day. If I have money, I will gamble it. This is so much worse than I had thought.
This is exactly what I had thought. I don't know what he's gambling on, though. That's,
I think it was the football matches.
I don't know.
I
I
think
mean,
that's what he
if
said.
you're that deep into gambling, you're not just going to stop at the football matches. It's going to expand into something else. And he seems so shady that like he's doing something else. He gives her this wishy-washy answer about how, he got a loan for one company and then another company and then another company. They all went under during COVID. He went bankrupt, but after he got bankrupt, he sold his car. He sold his places, plural. Did he ever own anything to begin with? Were any of these companies or endeavors even real, or did he defraud the bank to get loans?
Well, he said they were shisha bars, so I'm
Well,
assuming they were real.
I mean, maybe, but
But
I don't.
back to the gambling thing because it's really interesting how he talks about it. He says he has to do it, and in the same breath he says, "But I'm not addicted to it." Me thinks that is a contradiction or a paradox, if you will. He is addicted. He does have to do it by his own admission. He will not stop by his own admission, and yet Laura does not run away.
And he also said that he will stop when he hits the jackpot. No, you won't. That
No.
jackpot is going to look to you as an addicted gambler as an opportunity for more money to throw
Mhm.
into the middle to see how much more you could get. Like,
Yeah.
did you not see his eyes when he was like, "Yeah, you gave me however much money it was, but it was 500." I didn't
The
write
the
down
the
the
Valentine's money, I
denomination,
think, was like 100 or $150.
but it was 5,000. Uh, again, the
Turkish
denomination, yeah,
things,
yeah.
thingamies.
And then he gambled that into $20,000. So he is a kingpin. This guy knows what he's doing. He's like, yeah, sometimes I lose some, but then sometimes I win super big, but I'm not addicted. So you're searching for that dopamine. Like, you can't tell
Mhm.
me that you're betting on things that you actually have knowledge of that's going to assist you. It's not insider trading. Like, where do you get this idea that you're so great at what you do when you have literally nothing?
Well, that to me is the final piece of the puzzle that makes him a complete waste of Laura's time. The arrogance,
Your
that
word,
it's
yeah.
such an awful quality, and yet it's so strong in him. How could she not see it? How could she not look at him talking about his great accomplishments of gambling and not think to herself, this guy is a lunatic and he thinks he's God's gift. It's gross. And what am I doing here? She doesn't
And
go. She stays.
and also, he's had 3 failed businesses already. Those may have been legitimate, or maybe those could have been an opportunity to money launder. This is like completely and utterly otherworldly. Maybe. I don't think the guy's smart enough to do that. I think he's looking for a quick buck, and the best way for him to do it is to gamble. And he even admitted to her that he gambled that Valentine's Day money.
Mm-hmm.
But he's like,
Yep.
I took 4,000ths of the denomination and I made it into 20. So, now we got to keep our places. But he also had roommates. So, like, what are his roommates doing to pay the bills? Like, none of the shit that comes out of his mouth is believable. And yet she seems to consider it. Well,
Yes.
maybe. Okay, well,
Yeah.
you show me your articles of incorporation and or your business licenses, your business plans, show me your books, show me where things went wrong,
Mhm.
and then quantify that 50,000 US dollars, which I don't believe at all.
Yeah, I think there's much more about Birkan that Laura has not yet learned, and it just will continue to get worse and worse and worse. My hope for her is that she soon pulls herself out of this trap and gets back to Michael and sorts everything out with him.
I'm worried for her.
I am too. Well, I think we should wrap things up for tonight. Do you have any final thoughts on this delightful episode?
I found this episode quite engaging. It was really difficult to look away. It's, like that car accident on the side of the road. It's interesting and it's entertaining, but it's also so sad and concerning at the same time. And the fact that these are theoretically real people's lives, not theoretical real people, but like the situations that they're in, because who really knows how true they are. Was that even an
Okay.
answer?
Yes, 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 it was.
Okay.
It was coherent. Do not
Okay.
fret.
How about you? What did you think overall?
Oh, I agree. This is very hard to look away from. It's also very, very disturbing. And I hope, as I've already mentioned, that these people, Laura and even Emma and Lisa and Trisha, they all get out of this as quickly as they can. We shall see.
I'm confident about Trisha, but I'm not confident about the other ones.
Before we go, if you're enjoying the 90 Day Fiancé Honestly podcast, please subscribe to or give our show a follow. If you have an additional moment, please rate us and help other 90 Day fans to find our show. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, everyone.
See you next week.